Hey, I'm Mike Baccarella, and today we're going to take a look at a Joe Diorio pentatonic line, and then use that line as a way to learn this really cool trick to make 2-5-1s with pentatonics really easy. Let's take a look. So this line comes from Joe Diorio's book, Intervallic Designs for Jazz Guitar. It's a really cool book with a lot of just kind of concepts on how to divide things into wide intervals and move them around. And in the book, he doesn't really give specifics on where to use these things, he just gives general suggestions. And so after spending a bunch of time with some of these lines, I kind of figured out my own ways to go around them. And this is one of the approaches I learned from this. So this line is this. So what this is, after spending much time with it, at first I was just saying a shape, but then it occurred to me that if I take an A minor pentatonic scale, this line came right out of that. So when I'm thinking of the scale as it applies to this line, I'm thinking of, okay, so we play our pentatonics in 2 note per string, and we have a low note on each string, we have a high note on each string. And so the way I'm viewing this line is, so for the 5th and 6th string, we have the 2 high notes from each string. And the 3rd and 4th string, we have the 2 low notes. The 2nd string, we have both notes. And then the 1st string, we have the high note. Now we can do this to all of our positions. So if I go to this position, I'll end up with this, which is a C major triad. Now if I go to this position, I do the same thing, high notes, high, high, low, 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 high, high. I end up with the same exact shape I had before. So there's the same shape again. Then we'll go to the next position, this position. This one's a little awkward to finger, but I basically end up with an A minor triad this time. And then I go up to my last position, and I end up again with go high, high, low, 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 high, high. End up with the same shape again. So in the pentatonic scale, I end up with this exact grouping of notes 3 different times. Once on the root, with my lowest note being the root. Once with it being the 4th. And once with it being the flat 7th. So now that we understand this line, let's take a look at this pentatonic trick to make 2 5s really easily. So in the key of C, we have D minor 7 as our 2 chord. G7 as our 5 chord. C major 7 as our 1 chord. And then to bring it all back around, if we wanted to loop it, we'll bring our 6th chord in. We have a dominant 6, we have A7. And this leads back to the 2. So we have... It creates a little cycle going. So this concept is, basically, we're not going to play D minor pentatonic and then G7 pentatonic or anything like that. We're going to substitute pentatonics to get different sounds over each chord. So over D minor, we're going to play, or basically over any minor chord, we're going to play a pentatonic from the 5th. So we're going to view, so our 5th in D is A, so we're going to play A minor pentatonic. And what this gives us in relation to D is we have the 5th, flat 7, the root, the 9th, and the 11th, or the 4th. So we're missing the 3rd, but it gives us a bunch of different colors. Okay, then over any dominant 7th chord where we want an altered sound, one thing we can do is we can play a minor pentatonic up a minor 3rd, or on the sharp 9. So for G, that would be B flat, because we're going to go up minor 3rd, gives us the B flat. So that, if we play B flat minor pentatonic over the G7, we end up with sharp 9, flat 5, sharp 5, flat 7, and then flat 9. So we end up with a flat 7, and then a sharp 9, flat 9, sharp 5, flat 5. So all the altered sounds and our flat 7th. It gives us all the altered tones and one of our chord tones. And then over a major 7 chord, one thing we can do if we want kind of a sharp 11 Lydian sound is we can go back a half step to our major 7th and play a minor pentatonic from there. So if we're on C major 7, we can play B minor pentatonic. That gives the major 7, 9, 3rd, sharp 11, and the 6th, or the 13th. So this one gives us the 3rd and the 7th, and then all the colored tones, the 9, the sharp 11, and the 13. So this one's very colorful. So we can apply those to any sort of situation where we're playing over these type of chords. So if we're playing over, impressions where we're playing just a minor 7 chord for a long time, we can put over D minor, we can play A minor pentatonic and get those sounds. If we're playing over an altered dominant chord, we can play minor pentatonic up a minor 3rd and get the altered sounds that way. If we're playing over any sort of Lydian situation, we can play a pentatonic down a half step. And so if we apply this to 2-5 in the key of C, what we end up with is we have D minor, G7, C major 7, and we'll loop back around with an A7. So what we have is, for D minor, we're going to play A minor pentatonic, so we're going to the 5th. For G7, we're going to go up a minor 3rd and play that pentatonic, so we're going to play B flat minor pentatonic. For C major 7, we're going to go down a half step and play that pentatonic, and that gives us B minor pentatonic. And then over A7, we want the altered sound there too, so we're going to go up a minor 3rd, and that gives us C minor pentatonic. So what we end up with is, over the D minor, A minor. Over the G7, we have B flat minor. Over the C major 7, we have B minor. And over the A7, we have C minor. So we're just going half steps in our pentatonic. So we could play something. And navigate these 2-5s using just pentatonic scales and moving in half steps. So that's what I've done here with this line. So I'm taking this line. So I'm playing that portion over the D minor 7 because it comes from the A minor pentatonic. And then I will go up a half step and do it again for the G7. Then I'll go up a half step and do it again for the C major 7. And then up a half step again for the A7. And that loops back around. And then so that gets me up to C minor. So once we get up here, we can go up to D, which is the 4th of our A minor, because we're still playing A minor pentatonic, and we can do it again. And once we're here, we can go up to our flat 7th of the A minor, because that's still in that scale, and do it again. And it loops us all the way back around. This is a really easy concept with pentatonics and 2-5s, where we can take this and move this in half steps and make things really easy on ourselves. We don't have to think so much about what notes we're playing. We can more focus on the melodies we're creating and the phrasing we're doing. This makes it really easy to repeat an idea, we could easily do sequences. We can easily navigate it through the progression by just moving in half steps until we get to the resolution. So I really hope you like this lesson and you'll experiment with this concept. It's really cool. It's a lot of fun, and you hear a lot of modern players doing things like this. Thanks for checking out the lesson. We'll see you next time.